What is up, fellow giggers? I have mentioned in previous videos I'm trying to break out of the gig economy, and I was thinking of exploring professional blackjack as an option. The first step in that, though, is memorizing basic strategy. And I'm getting a little older, so my brain doesn't work like it used to. I actually have college degrees. I have a master's degree in business administration. My bachelor's degree is in finance. I make this joke. I wanted to be like an investment banker until I realized they were all crooks. That's a whole different thing. Don't want to get into it, but other than working for the military-industrial complex or some massive, stupid, woke corporation, I've struggled with meaningful employment. When I worked for Boeing, I made good money. But, making planes that go to war, I didn't like that. Normal local jobs don't pay very much. Small companies, small businesses don't pay very much. So I've just really struggled, and I'm wasting my potential. And so the responsible thing in life, going to college, didn't work out for me. So I'm going to try to do the irresponsible thing, hence blackjack. I'm 37 and I've only ever played blackjack once, lost $40 and was like, this isn't fun. So it's not like an appeal to gambling. I don't gamble. I'm doing this as much as I logically can, because if you follow logic, basic mathematics, you can beat blackjack. It's not a luck thing. It's a matter of repetition. Casinos don't like card counters, so you can't just go in there and be brazen. So part of the process is being subtle about counting cards and when you change your bets, etc. I'm getting way off subject. This video is meant to help me retain the strategy charts. They say you remember a lot more of what you teach versus just, I've just been writing the charts and doing the notes. It's just not the same. So I'm going to teach you. Nobody's going to see this, but it's practice. I believe in you as well. We deserve more in this economy. That's why I'm exploring this, because we deserve more. For a stand 17 game, you will always stand when you have a hard 17 total. In this video, I'm just going over the hard totals for a stand 17 game. You got a 17? Just stand. On a hard 16, like normal, 2 through 6, you stand. And when I say 2 through 6, that means when the dealer's up card is a 2 through 6. When it's a 7 or an 8, you hit. That's normal basic strategy. But 9 and 10 are where some deviations happen. So when you have a hard 16 and the dealer has a 9 for their up card, if the true count is 4 or higher, instead of hitting, which basic strategy says you should do, you will actually stand. And that's against the dealer 9. For a hard 16 against a dealer 10, any positive running count, which equals at least a true count of 0 or greater, right? So any positive running count, instead of hitting, like basic strategy says, you're actually going to stand there. And this assumes that you cannot take surrender. I'll go over surrender in another video. And then if you have a hard 16 against the dealer ace, normal basic strategy applies, just hit. No deviation there. If you have a hard 15, like normal, 2 through 6, you're going to stand. Against the dealer 7, 8, or 9, you're going to hit. That's normal basic strategy. However, against the 10, that 4 plus true count comes in again. So the 4 plus true count, when you have a hard 16 against the dealer 9, becomes a deviation when you have a hard 15 against the dealer 10. I may have complicated things there with that. But the way I see it on my little graph is that 4 drops down. And so I'm trying to memorize both, like just being able to say what the rules are for a hard total line, but then also visualizing the graph. So my brain kind of does both. I'm not fully visual and I'm not fully analytical. I'm a mix. A hard 15 against the dealer ace. Normal basic strategy applies, just hit. Hard 14, no deviations, but basic strategy will be standing against a dealer 2 through 6 and hitting against the 7 through ace. Hard 13 does have one deviation, and that is against a dealer up card of 2. Normally, you would stand against the dealer up card. That's basic strategy. But when you apply the stand 17 deviations, at a true count of 1 or lower, you're actually going to hit against that dealer 2. True count of 1 or lower. The rest of 13 is the same, so you will stand against the 3 through 6 and then hit against the 7 through ace. A hard 12 has deviations. So a hard 12 against the dealer 2 is normally a hit situation. However, if the true count is 3 or higher, you're actually going to stand. And then a hard 12 against the dealer 3 normally again is going to hit. However, if the true count is 2 or higher, you're actually going to stand. Another hard 12 deviation. Normally against a dealer up card of a 4, you would stand. However, at any negative running count, so a true count of 0 or less, any negative running count, you're actually going to hit. So for a hard 12, let's go over those again real quick, because that's the tricky one. 12s are tricky. And this is where, as a card counter, you're going to start drawing attention to yourself as you make these plays that, you know, the dealer or the pit boss might be like, that's an advanced play. Professional blackjack players are often called advanced players. Advantaged players, excuse me. So let's go for hard 12 again. Hard 12 against the dealer 2 normally hits, but will stand against the true count of 3 or less. A hard count of 12 versus a dealer 3 normally hits, but with a true count of 2 or higher, you're actually going to stand. A hard 12 against the dealer 4 normally would stand, but at any negative running count, you're actually going to hit. The rest of the hard 12 rules are just basic strategy, so you're going to stand against the dealer 5-6 and then hit against everything else. 11 has one deviation. Basic strategy just says always double 11s, which is generally the case. But against a dealer ace, you're actually only going to double if the true count is 1 or higher. If the true count is less than 1, you're just going to hit. So that's a hard 11 against a dealer ace. We'll double if the count is 1 or higher, otherwise hit. A hard 10 has 2 deviations, but they're easy. So a hard 10 normally is going to double against a dealer 2 through 9. That's basic strategy. But with the stand 17 variation deviations, you're going to also double against the dealer 10 and ace if the true count is 4 or higher. A hard 9 also has deviations, and this is another area where you can draw attention to yourself. So you make the right play, but be wary of the back off. A hard 9 against a dealer 2 normally just hits, but if the count is 1 or higher, you're going to double. And then a hard 9 against a 3 through 6, I guess everything's hard underneath this, but a 9 against the dealer 3 through 6, like normal, you're going to double. That's just basic strategy. However, against the 7 Instead of hitting, if the true count is 3 or higher, you're going to double. And then for 8, 9, 10 ace, just hit like normal. And then the hard 8, I hope to be in this situation someday. I just want to do it because I want people to think I'm crazy. But a hard 8 normally hits against everything, right? With one exception. Against the dealer up card of a 6, which is in general the dealer's weakest possible up card. That's why if the true count is 2 or higher, you will double. So you're going to double a hard 8 against a dealer up card of 6 if you have a 2 count or higher. And so that is all of the stand 17 variation deviations. The abridged version, excuse me. Now, can I get this shit to stick in my head? We will find out. Thank you for listening. Much love.